Let's get ready to ACOTAR.
ACOTAR.
It's
a finale.
Under the mountain.
Nope.
We're done with Under the Mountain.
Thank God.
Let's get out of here, guys.
Yeah. Thank the cauldron. We're done with it.
Can you believe that we're done this book?
So exciting.
We already talked about it last episode, but we're excited to be done this book. We've been talking about this book and reading this book for too long.
Is it ever too long, though? I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm just like, let's move on to the next plot points I need to know.
Yes, there's exciting things going to happen. I'm Jamie, also. Just want to throw that out there.
I'm Christine, and if this is the first episode, you should probably not listen. You should probably go back, because this is not going to make any sense to you.
Can't start with the finale.
I mean, unless you've read the books, it maybe doesn't really matter.
Maybe you just wanted to get to the finale also.
Look, and when I did my reread of ACOTAR the first time, I did skip this book, to be honest. Yeah, I went right to number 2. I think, well,
I really enjoyed rereading it.
No. And then when we were doing a reread this time, which would be technically my third.
Yes.
I was like, oh. I enjoyed it. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have skipped it that second time. But I think I just I don't know.
I mean, I get it.
Because this, when you get to know the other books, this is really the intro book. Mm-hmm. Right? So I think for me, I was like, oh, that's the introduction. I just want to...
Yeah, but so much stuff.
But you forget. Yeah. You forget.
So we're just going to get right into things.
We're doing chapters 44 to 46, which are the final chapters. Mm-hmm. So we're going to sum up what has happened at the very end. This is the ending. And then we're going to get to our award ceremony.
Yes, our Oscars.
We're going to do the cocktail countdown, the cocktail crown. We're going to do a favorite moment. We're going to do a cringe moment. We're going to do a word mispronunciation overview, a casting hill you will die on, an ultimate loser, a medal of honor, and an overall MVP.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm really excited. Okay.
Let's start first with your cocktail.
Oh, right. I forgot about the cocktail. I got to do the final cocktail. I'm workshopping the name. I'm open.
Oh.
I'm open to suggestions. I called it There Will Be Blood, which is a famous movie.
Yeah.
So I kind of stole it, but I was just like, okay, there's blood in the ending. There's a lot of blood, and it's it's sad and it's dramatic, and so I did a bloody drink. Do you have a different name for it?
Stab me in the heart.
Ooh, that might be better. Yeah. I was also thinking the stabbing.
Yeah, something with stabbing. Definitely.
Stabbing for love. Oh, that sounds...
I feel like stab me in the heart.
Stab me in the... Okay, I'll think about it.
Okay.
But it's a cherry margarita.
Oh.
To be honest, it was supposed to be a pomegranate margarita. I could not find pomegranate juice this season. So we went with cherry. So hopefully it's just as good.
Yes, hopefully it is. Maybe this will be like our winner.
We don't know.
It's our last one.
Let's see. Let's try it. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
It's very strong.
There is tequila in this.
Okay, and if you see the pictures, we did like a fake blood around the rim, and I have that drink, and I didn't pour it into another cup. So every time I take a drink, I just have sticky right all over my mouth.
I almost want to chug this other cup just so I can give you a different cup. Because now it's just there's blood on your mouth.
Okay, go get me another cup.
I
can't do this.
You want to finish talking about the drink first?
No. I annoyed Jamie enough that she got me a new glass.
And baby wipes.
I really like it.
I like it. I'm going to have another sip.
The cherry is different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're margarita girlies.
Yes.
You give me any form of margarita. I don't care if it is...
Yeah, no, I really don't care.
You give me an iced, you give me a cherry,
yeah.
You give me a blueberry, you give me an orange. I don't care what version of a margarita it is, what type of tequila it is, whether it is cheap or whether it is expensive, I will...
Love a margarita. Like this a lot, actually.
Yes.
Compared even to just a normal margarita, because that's, acidic. Yes, you know me with acidic things.
I would like to add more lime to this.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit, but a little bit more lime, maybe. But I almost kind of like the margarita better with
cherry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious about how the pomegranate would taste also.
Oh, we're gonna have to try it again, I guess.
Oh no. So bad. So sad.
And it looks like blood.
Yeah, it does. It's great. So, I'm excited to list these all at the end. I'm going to give this... Okay, so keeping in mind that I do love margarita, I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
Which is pretty good for me, I think.
I'm trying to think what I gave the other stuff.
Like 2s.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Oh, that is a big jump for you.
I'm trying to think of what I gave the sangria, that's why.
Oh, but I really enjoy this.
Maybe it's a 7.5. I don't know.
I'm also trying to think of sangria because I did really like that sangria.
I gotta figure out my rankings. You'll know by the end of this episode where this one stands anyway.
Yeah,
so
we'll have them all listed.
It's higher up on my list, basically.
But this is I enjoy this a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's gonna be blood, so that's why we did it.
Mm-hmm. Stabby.
Let's get into these chapters. Tamlin is stabbed, so blood starts gushing out of him.
Yeah. Feyre said, I love you, stabbed him. But now we start off here. As she's stabbing him, she can feel it's kind of hitting something.
Yeah, she hit that heart of stone that she was hoping would be there.
Yes.
Because if not...
So Tamlin is not dead.
No. It hits his heart of stone and the dagger bends. That's how you know it really is a heart of stone.
And also how hard she really thrust it in there for
she
it
must
to bend.
Be strong, like considering that, like, you're a tiny human and you have not been well fed and well exercised these past 3 months or so.
Yes.
And yet you have. It's about 3 months, right? Am I being?
Yeah, because it's different. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of CSI. Pretty much all the CSIs.
I'm basically a detective / doctor.
But it's very hard to stab someone.
Yeah.
Like, it's a difficult...
Olivia Benson told me that it's hard to stab someone.
I chatted with her last night about it, and we were talking how, it's hard to stab someone.
So she did it. Rhysand is grinning ear to ear.
He's like, our team won!
He's like, we did it, guys! You stuck it out! And Tamlin didn't screw it up!
Yeah.
So hilarious. He's like a soccer dad, like, yes!
My plan all came together.
You idiots! I did it all. I did this. No one's gonna give me the credit.
Yeah.
Amarantha is pissed. So...
a stupid human girl figured her out.
Yeah, and Feyre in her head is like, kill her now, like, do
What
it.
are you doing?
But Tamlin is healing too slowly, so, like, blood is still gushing out, his wound is not healing, he's obviously gonna survive, it's just taking him a really, really long time to, like, get himself together.
A real deep paper cut.
So someone from the crowd is like, free them!
Like, she won!
Come on! And then she says, I'll free them whenever I see fit. Feyre did not specify when to free them.
I got so mad.
Did you?
I was like,
she tricked me.
Yeah. Reading that, especially the first time, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Because she gave the time limit on the riddle. She said, if you solve the riddle, they will immediately be released, but Feyre forgot to get her to specify about the trial. So if you won the trials, she didn't say when they would be released.
So,
Jurian's mad.
That little eyeball is pissed.
Jurian is pissed off. The eyeball on her hand is going wild. The pupil is dilating and shrinking. Oh.
Yeah, he's pissed for his human friend.
Well, I like how he has personality and he's just an eye.
How much can I express my anger by just using my eyeball?
So funny. Amarantha attacks Feyre. She uses all of the magic she stole from everyone else plus her magic, and she slams her into the floor over and over, and her bones are breaking, and she said, I'm gonna kill you, and she's just
admit you don't really love him.
Yeah.
She's really on that, and to, like, Feyre, just like, no, I'm not gonna say that. She is just refusing. She's like, I don't care, like, and really Amarantha, I think she's proved that she clearly does. So I don't know what you would be getting from her even saying that anyways.
It's not logic at this point. Amarantha says, admit what a cowardly, lying, inconstant bit of human garbage you are. And then Feyre hears someone cry out, Feyre! And then she realizes it's Rhysand.
Yes. Aww.
And Amarantha goes, you think you're worthy of him, a high lord? You think you deserve anything at all, human? And Rhysand says,
you were planning this all along.
basically saying, like, you tricked us. We're like, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you knew that
guys,
even if she won all 3 trials.
Guys, why are we surprised?
Except nobody else caught on to that, to be honest.
So Rhysand grabs the ash dagger that Feyre had been using for the other people she stabbed. But Amarantha gets to him first and blasts him against the wall. He tries again and again. She pushes his talons back into his head.
I hated that description. It made me so sad for him.
Slams his head into the wall over and over, and Feyre says, "Stop!" Rhysand and Feyre's eyes meet, and their bond that they have says that it goes taut, and then she flashes into his vision, seeing herself. So she can see herself through Rhysand's eyes.
Which would be real crazy at that point. Like, things are already crazy, but to see yourself...
So Rhysand calls her name again, and Feyre's life flashes before her eyes. So this is actually one of my favorite parts, because I think it's such a, like, a in-depth look at Feyre's psyche. She has all these memories of her life, right? So life flashing before your eyes. Then she has this vision of her first kill, a rabbit, when she went back into the woods and she wept after, and like how this was a loss.
Yeah.
And she said like her soul had been stained, like a line had been crossed. So I was thinking like that had been a sacrifice, or her loss of innocence, her childhood, and also herself, right? Like when
she had to take that step.
Yeah, so like much of like when you're a child is like this freedom of like getting to know yourself and trying out new things. There should be like a sense of like freedom or inhibition, and she totally lost that at such a young age, where she didn't have choice anymore, where she now became like a caretaker when she shouldn't have. Right? She had to sacrifice, which basically was like a loss of self, right? Like her decision making wasn't about her anymore, which that shouldn't have been the case. So now that she has Tamlin, she's like, wait, I have this love now. I am not willing to sacrifice now. I am coming back into my own and deciding that this is for me, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm not doing this, even if I have to sacrifice my life.
Yeah. That was a great little roundup.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed that. Okay, but yes, I just completely agree with that. I could not have rounded that up at all.
Okay, but I only saw this today. I'll admit. Like, I was rereading this part, and it, like, clicked in me where I saw this particular part in a different way, even though I had...
read it so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamlin does make some effort, I want to say. I want to give Tam some credit here. I'm so sorry, my man. We had been giving Rhysand a lot of credit, but he does try and crawl for her. So I just want to, like, put that as we keep talking.
He's trying to get to her. He loves her, and
he's bleeding,
wants to,
he's trying.
Yeah, he wants to do something to help and to save her as she's just being torn apart.
Okay, I do have a question.
Okay.
Tamlin says, Amarantha, stop this. I'm sorry for what I said about Clythia all those years ago. I couldn't remember what he meant by that.
That's a good point. Should I look it up?
Are you going to Google it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, wonder what the first 2 things were? What did Tamlin do to Feyre? What did Tamlin say about Clythia? And all I put in was, what did Tamlin?
Well, other people are on the same page.
Tamlin refused, declaring he would sooner take a human lover, and that even Clythia preferred a human's company to Amarantha's.
Okay. We got their answer, y'all.
Feyre is in pain. She starts to think about all her time with Tamlin, her time under the mountain, her family, and as she's slowly dying and...
Say it, you vile beast!
Yes, as Amarantha is slowly killing her, kind of goes through the riddle again as she's slowly dying, and then just kind of comparing it to her relationship. So I'm just going to use like the one example, not reading the entire thing. For though each of my strikes lands a powerful blow, when I kill, I do it slow. That's what these 3 months had been, a slow, horrible death. What I felt for Tamlin was the cause of this. There was no cure, not pain or absence or happiness. So she kind of just continues to go through the riddle and comparing it to her and Tamlin, and then all of a sudden it comes to her. The answer to the riddle is love.
What's love got to do?
Everything, because it's the answer that will save them all. I remember just reading it, I was like, oh, right, that's the answer. So Feyre says the answer, and then she sees Tamlin's eyes go wide and her spine cracks.
Yeah, because there's the final death blow. And she dies. She's dead. That's the end of the book and all of the series.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We're going to
See
be
you later.
here till next year. We're going to be here till next year. She's coming back to life. Don't worry. Imagine, or it just became a book about Tamlin or something.
Tamlin and Rhys.
Chapter 45. So, Feyre is seeing herself through someone else's eyes. Yeah, she died. Okay, just put that aside.
And she's saying refers to her as my host.
Interesting.
Yeah, what she's seeing through.
Yeah, so she just sees herself dead. She sees Lucian remove his mask. So, like, the curse has been broken. Yep. But Lucian is super sad. Before we get to the sadness, Tamlin finally kills Amarantha.
And it's a great scene.
Good for you, Tamlin. He does it epically.
Yes, exactly what Rhys wanted.
Exactly. He beefy
form.
He probably is beefy.
Yeah.
But he goes into his beast form and Lucian throws him a sword, goes, Tam! Throws him a sword and she puts it through his skull.
I literally wrote down Lucian with the assist.
Yeah. Tam!
Good job, Lucian.
You know I'm like biased, but I'm like, oh my god, Lucian did such a good job there.
He threw the sword.
Did you see that?
Do you see Lucian with that assist, guys?
Yeah.
So he stabs the sword into her head and then rips her throat out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, Amarantha's cronies, like the ACOTAR, do try and help her, but they realize that the crowd of all the High Fae and all the other people are like, nah. What?
I also just want to say before that happened, when Amarantha realized what was happening, she just kind of goes, please.
Oh.
Like, she's like,
excuse me, bitch?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
If I say please, right? It'll be okay?
Oh, you want some empathy now? No. You want our sympathies?
Oh, weird.
You want some grace?
No.
Feyre realizes that she's actually seeing herself through Rhys-Anne's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And Tamlin goes back to his regular form and he's holding Feyre to his chest and he's crying and, so sad.
It's very sad.
Now, Lucian's father... Can I just identify something first? Lucian's father is described as a tall, handsome, brown-haired man. Now, when we did our early episodes, we were talking about where we would want to live, and we were talking about the Autumn Court.
Yeah.
And we were describing the Autumn Court as if everyone in the Autumn Court is either a redhead or a fair-haired person. As if we're in...
Did we?
Basically, we were talking about it as if, like, that was, like, the...
Oh, I don't recall that. I don't feel like I would envision it like that.
But to take responsibility, I had been thinking of Lucian's family a bit like they were the Weasley family, as if like everyone had red hair, and then I started to think about it and I was like, wait, not everyone in Lucia's family is described to have red hair. Like him and his mom have red hair, and I think maybe maybe some other brothers, but like his oldest brother, we later learn that he's brown haired. His dad is brown haired. Like
I think anyone who was in love with Harry Potter, that's kind of like an immediate thing. You're just gonna be like,
you're a redhead. That means your entire family has red hair.
You're the evil Weasley family of this book.
Sorry, carry on.
So anyway, the High Lord of the Autumn Court, Lucian's father, comes over. Tamlin glances up at him. When the High Lord opened his fingers and tipped over his hand, a glittering spark fell upon me. It flared and vanished as it touched my chest. So this is Vera describing it from her view. This continues to happen as each High Lord walks up to her and does the same thing. Then the last comes up, which is Rhys-Anne, and he says, "For what she gave, will bestow what our predecessors have granted to few before." And then he pauses and says, "This makes us even."
What does that mean?
I think just with like him and Tamlin now.
Oh, okay.
You know,
he was
like
when I read it again, I thought he was talking fair. I was like, what?
No, so he gives his magic and then says that. So I think just more like him and Tamlin, clean slate.
This makes us even. Sorry.
That's exactly how he sounded. And then Tamlin does the same thing. He says, "I love you," and then he gives his
hand on her chest.
Little light of magic on her chest.
I was tempted with these chapters because she does describe a little bit what the High Lords look like. Oh my gosh, should we cast them? But we don't get the full descriptions of all of them. Like, The summer court, High Lord, brown skin, tunic, blue and green, white blonde hair. The winter court, pale skin, colors of white and gray. Like, she like stops describing them, so it's like,
yeah, and there's just so much other stuff that happens that it's really, I think.
Well, this is a bit of a spoiler, but like we're gonna see more of them like later.
Yes, of the different courts.
Like in later books. Yes. Like we're gonna have an opportunity to get to know them more where like the casting is gonna be more fun because we're gonna get to know like personalities.
Yeah. Right now I feel like they're kind of just like blurry people.
I didn't cast them in my head when I was reading them. Okay, anyway, chapter 46.
Farah wakes up back in her body.
She comes back to life.
I mean, there's a bit of like a tumultuous thing that happens where she's like falling, there's darkness.
And sort of like swimming for the surface. And then she realizes, oh, I'm not dead. And that she is high fae.
Everything looking so weird. And my skin. And then she's like, oh my, I'm high fae.
Yeah. And her body feels strange. And she notices that the crowd is like, there's a gasp. And then they're whispering. And then they're weeping. And there's just like this quiet celebration. Like nobody knows what to do. Like Amarantha is gone.
Yes. I would also say...
Such an awkward situation.
Right? Like,
we cheer, but like...
How much just happened in the last 20 minutes, guys?
But like, people have died, but like
but it's also the end of a but like a war almost.
49 years.
Yeah. Also, I would like to say this is just like such a dream. I feel like for most people that read these books, coming back to life as a high fae, you know, I want to hold out and say that, you know, it might happen for me one day.
Would you kill a couple people for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that I did not even...
You almost cut me off there.
I mean, only if it was to free, like, more people. I wouldn't just kill them so that I could become
I don't believe you. Tamlin's mask finally falls off, so she gets to see him and be like, oh, he's beautiful. Yeah, we get it.
He was exactly how...
We knew.
Yeah, exactly how I dreamed he would be. And then she describes his beautiful face. And
it's just a beautiful face.
Yeah, which we all knew it would be.
We knew. Yeah. And she puts her hand on his chest and feels his heartbeat.
So he has his heart back, which is...
no longer heart of stone.
So he has his magic back, his heart back, which means all the High Lords. So all of them.
Now, they end up in a room. They find a space that they could be alone, her and Tamlin. And, you know, they realize that the ACOTAR, Lucian's brothers, Rhysand, like
they
all
took
these
off,
people,
like little
took off, disappeared.
Bitches.
Some people celebrated, but, like, people were mostly in shock. This is...
Yeah, it's just a real bag of emotions. So I think that, some people celebrated, some people were just stunned.
But lots of people, especially from people from the Spring Court, stopped and thanked Tamlin, but Feyre just, like, did not understandably if this happened to me, I'd be like walk slowly backing away into the shadows, be like, everyone get away from me.
I need some time alone. I just killed people and then I died and then I came back to life and now I'm a fairy. So
and then they do it. They do the deed.
Yeah, which also I think it was just they were kind of talking and I think it was kind of overwhelming for her.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to think about it anymore. Like, let's.
And she kind of just, now you're a completely different human. She's like, every word, every breath was too loud, every smell too strong, like the light too bright. Keeping still was easier than moving. It would just be really weird. So yeah, I think it was just...
she's also like completely overwhelmed by having you just killed people. So she's like, that is in her head, but she's not wanting to voice that to anyone. She's still figuring out how to live with herself after killing those two fairies.
But then she also has Tamlin back at the same time. It's like that's a lot. She is traumatized.
A little sexy time, to distract
that'll make
her.
Yeah, which, I think use that as an outlet right now. You two deserve it.
Now, she feels this little tug when she's
after the sexy time and they're napping.
Yeah, when they're done doing that and she's sleeping, she feels this tug, and she knows that it's Rhysand, but it's on their little tattoo bonding thing. And she walks down the hall and finds Rhysand on this balcony, and she said, "What do you want?" And she realizes she said it a bit like rough. Rhysand was like, "I came to say goodbye." Oh, this made my heart break when
right? Like they went through a lot together just because Tamlin was with Amarantha the entire time. So he was with her throughout this. He was getting her drunk to dance and all that, but they also had some like touching moments.
There was some bonding. But Feyre asked why.
And
And Rhysand says that he wants to be remembered for... No,
I like how he says it.
Okay, so he says, because when the legends get written, I don't want to be remembered for standing on the sidelines. I want my offspring to know that I was there and that I fought against her in the end, even if I couldn't do anything useful. Because I didn't want you to fight alone or die alone.
I was fist pumping for that entire read through because I'm like, yes, like, coach, yes.
I love how I never thought of him as coach until we started talking about this.
He's like a football coach that has those like great speeches.
Yes.
Friday Night Lights. Right, that's a very good answer. So,
right, like if the people that I love the most in the world, if they can look at me and see that what I'm doing is of integrity and of value, then that is what matters the most. That even if I die, that I die with honor.
Yes. And even if I had to do some things that were very questionable,
they know my intention and my goodness.
Yeah.
That they knew I didn't just keel over. Mm-hmm. Which maybe is why he was so angry with Tamlin and Feyre when they're just like flippant whatever. He's like, fuck you guys, like, let's go.
You need to be on it all the time.
Anyway.
So she says thank you, and then he says, I doubt you'll be saying that when I take you in the night court.
Rhysand.
Right? So then he just get in the other lane again.
You see the flip-flop.
Yeah.
You see the flip-flop. You're flopping. Yeah. It's a hot and cold. He's your man.
Yeah.
Rhys
asks
how it is to be high fae. And he says, be glad of your human heart, Feyre. Pity those who don't feel anything at all, because Feyre basically says, like, my heart is still human.
Yes.
Even though I'm high fae, like, I am not one of you. I'll always be human.
Literally.
And he's saying that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like
his line, I have, like, stars and hearts around, because I love that. That was a perfect response.
Okay, now a really important part, because I distinctly remember reading this book for the first time in this scene being like, what?
Yeah, I was so confused.
Okay, so Rhysand goes to leave, and he says, goodbye for now, and he...
Look how you made that real cheery. Well, goodbye for now, Feyre.
Well, he kind of does, because Ferris says he rolls his back as if we hadn't been talking about anything important at all. He bowed at the waist, those wings vanishing entirely, and had begun to fade into the nearest shadow when he went rigid. His eyes locked on mine, wide and wild, and his nostrils flared. Shock, pure shock, flashed across his features at whatever he saw on my face. He stumbled back a step. Actually stumbled.
Which is a big thing for Harry.
She said, what is...
And again.
He disappeared, simply disappeared, not a shadow in sight, into the crisp air. So, when I initially read ACOTAR, I went back to, like, pages.
Same. I did the same thing. I'm like, did I miss something?
I thought I had missed something.
Yeah. That's exactly what I did as well.
Okay, good.
And I was like, what just happened? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And we don't know.
Yeah, just so you know.
We don't know.
We're going to come to know why that happens, but I was like...
way later on.
I was actually like, did Sarah J. Maas make a mistake? Like,
is that a spoiler to say that we're going to find out what it means?
No, I don't think so. And I think so because when I read it, I was so confused. So, like, if I'm a reader listening to this right now...
Yeah, that's okay.
I just want to confirm that is a confusing part. Yep. That is basically it. Tamlin and Feyre eventually leave. A bunch of the High Lords had already destroyed Under the Mountain, but Tamlin and Feyre are the last to leave, so when they leave, Tamlin ruins the entrance. So, like, it is just... nobody is getting in there. It is no longer a place to go, to live, and they go home. They go back to the Spring Court.
Can I throw something out there before we do that? She does mention again, I understand what had driven her, a very small part of her, but I understood it about Amarantha.
Stop it.
Still.
Stop.
But I also kind of agree with her. Another thing that is mentioned, Jurian's eye and bone are missing.
Well, so are the ACOTAR and a lot of your creatures.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I kind of do also agree with her. I get it. I don't agree with the actions, but I understand the pain.
So they go back to the spring court. They see Alice and her boys. They are safe. Lucian calls them and says, "Dinner's ready."
And
yeah.
Let's go home.
Yeah, the last line is, "Let's go home," and I took his hand.
Oh.
Oh, are we calling it an award show? I wrote down ACOTAR Roundup.
First Books and Booze. ACOTAR Roundup. First Books and Booze Roundup.
/ the most prestigious award ceremony you have ever been to. Forget the Oscars.
Yes. This is
Forget
way
the
more
Emmys.
interesting.
Forget the Tonys. Forget them.
Yeah. SAG
Because
Awards. Nothing.
we are in a basement with some old sweaters and some glitter on our face.
This is only your oldest sweater.
I'm so sorry. There is a tie-dye, which made me think.
Nope. I still love me some tie-dye.
Okay, fine. I have bleach stains on my sweater.
It's okay.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm going to quickly change into a dress.
Do my hair.
Okay, I didn't. But, well, welcome.
Yes.
We are going to talk some stuff. First off, it is the cocktail countdown, and we're going to crown our cocktail winner.
Oh my god, so exciting. So exciting.
We are amateur cocktail makers, which means there was some duds.
There was a lot of mistakes
some
made.
Mediocre mummies, and there was some do it for us daddies.
Oh, I like.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I like that. Did you just say that off the top of your head?
I did. I
Oh,
did.
That's good.
Okay, we have to go one by one because we don't know what each other picked, and I
No.
feel like it's gonna come to standoff. We're gonna have to crunch some numbers to figure out who's the actual winner.
Okay, I'm just gonna take a sip of my cocktail as we do this. 'Cause I am enjoying that last cocktail.
Okay.
Like worst to best or best
Obviously,
to worst?
worst to best. We can't go best to worst. That's
Okay.
just gonna get sad. Okay, what is? I don't want to call it the worst because that's. What was our least favorite?
My least favorite was the fireball.
Okay, I have the same.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Fireball for Fire Night was our least favorite. For
Yeah.
me, it was partly temperature.
Agreed.
I wonder if I had used a more sweeter apple juice, whether it would be better, and if it was
More chilled.
colder,
Yes.
it might actually be a pretty good drink as with the brown sugar on the rim. It might
I
be a
agree.
lot better. Okay, but it was a dud.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2.
Mine is the blood orange dress drink.
Okay, mine was the frozen Cosmo.
Oh, that's actually a... Did I miss that one?
Because there's 9 drinks. Did you miss it?
What was that one called?
The frozen Cosmo. We weren't naming them by that point.
I did not write down the correct numbers.
It's 1 to 9.
Yep, I have 1 to 8 on here.
Okay, we'll fit the frozen Cosmo in.
My number 8 is also the same.
Okay. Yeah, it was
It
it
was
was
how
a
it should have been.
strong vodka drink, which is fine, but it didn't have the texture we had intended.
Yes.
We wanted it to be slush.
Yeah, if it was slush, it would have... Yeah.
And we said it while we drank it. Like, if it was
Yep.
slush and you, like, put us at, like, a girls' night out / like, a beach, I
Yeah,
would have really
just
enjoyed it,
outdoor-
but we couldn't figure out the slush.
Yeah, it just...
And because, like, the simplistic ingredients, you needed that slush to elevate it.
Agreed. Okay,
Okay.
so obviously my next one is the blood orange dress.
Is the blood orange dress, which I also had.
Oh!
Okay, so the blood orange dress, it really wasn't so bad. Like, I drank the whole thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I think it had a lot of potential. I feel like if you mastered the substance that's supposed to be at the bottom,
Yes.
and it was more blood orangey, which I'm so sorry that you put so much effort into the blood orange and we didn't get the
Right?
blood
I'm
orange taste.
Mad just that money that I spent on all those oranges. Because it also said you could try blood orange juice, which is also wasn't really available.
No, like who has that?
Yeah, no, those are the...
This is where maybe it gets a little dicey because
Yeah.
I have a number of them that I probably would have tied.
Yeah, but then I really had to be like, Kate, no.
Like, I could go either way on some.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one for me was the budget Stanley Tucci.
Same.
Oh, okay. And I really liked this drink.
I also actually really did too, especially for not being that big of a fan of grapefruit.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
And this was... It's so funny how it's not so long ago, but I feel like it was like...
It was at the same time.
But it does feel like it, because for me at the time I was like, oh, I'm making a cocktail, but now we've gotten so into making cocktails and I'm like, that was so basic, bitch.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
That was nothing. Like, you got
Or do you also remember when we were first starting out and being like, oh, we don't have a third cocktail. We'll just put some whiskey in a glass and put some ice on it. And we'll just...
We did consider that.
Yeah, we did. So proud of us.
And I would absolutely never accept that at this point in my life. Even though it's weeks later.
Yeah.
The cocktails need to be a cocktail.
Yes.
And not just some ingredients thrown into a drink. And it needs to be with the plot line or else.
Exactly. I'm so
or
happy.
Else I will call you out.
Here's my whiskey in a glass.
No. That's so funny. Okay. The next one.
Mudworm.
Same.
Oh, I totally did not see this going.
I thought we were...
Yeah.
I thought we were going to be off.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to admit something. I was saving this. I so wanted to text you and tell you this because after we had the Mudworm, which is espresso martini, I was craving it.
Ooh.
So for the week after, I was like having cravings for it, which was really strange. I was like, oh, like, and that's one of the things that we talked about that makes a good cocktail is if I put aside what it entails to make it, because that's usually like the barrier for me is like, oh, it's so much time. Mm-hmm. If I just think of like a drink that I want to have again, I actually wanted to have it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love that. So excited about that. Because I have the Kahlua still upstairs sitting there. Mm-hmm. I did have one, so I'm like, oh, that'd be really good to just have it. I just don't have the espresso, but yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that you had that.
I knew one. That's why I saved it.
Win for espresso martini.
Isn't it funny when you have a podcast and then you have to like save things to talk about?
Yeah.
I want to tell you about something, but I'm like, I'm going to save that because I need to put it on tape.
Yes. Oh, that's just like how I saved which actually killed me when I realized that she started calling him Reese.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you kept it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want to point this out so bad.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay. Is it going to get messy now? I don't know.
Okay, what's your next one?
Dance for a dance.
Yes!
Okay.
Going so good. I don't really have anything to say about that one. I just liked it, and it was good. Like, it wasn't great,
and I did compare it to the Stanley Tucci because that was also a great drink. But I just felt like it was to use the word elevated again, it was elevated, right? Like, the Stanley Tucci feels like more like basic bitch me, which was what I was coming into this podcast. But I appreciate more that we've been discovering and like trying new things, that like this cocktail was something different where it was, I mean, I love grapefruit, so that was not an issue, but like the elderflower in the drink that made it just like a little bit different.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Top 3.
Okay, this is probably where we part, I think.
Oh, I'm excited.
The Stab Me in the Heart.
Yeah.
Oh! Okay. I really liked this drink. I do see some room for improvement. Mm-hmm. And because I am a cuckoo person, we did plan all of the drinks for the next book, which is like 10 plus episodes because the next book is a longer book. Yeah. But within that book, there is another margarita drink.
Ooh, right. So that'll be exciting.
Now, it is not a classic margarita. No. But look, I'm just excited for us to explore more margarita versions.
Same. It's like, should we make the whole book margaritas?
Oh, just... No, we shouldn't. Okay, so.
Number 2.
Maybe this is where we part?
I'm just making you say them first now.
No, you go first.
Alice says, don't drink the wine.
Okay, we are reversed on this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I love both drinks.
Yeah.
Right? The spring court drink was strawberries, thyme.
That, which is so weird because it was the first drink
It was
I
the very
made.
first drink, which wasn't even like an ACOTAR episode drink. It was just our intro episode
Yes,
drink.
and I wanted to do something with like champagne, but something that was like springy.
Yeah.
I still love.
Okay, what else is in it?
Was that Lilibet wine?
Which is what, though? Like, what is Lilibet wine?
It's like a French wine. I don't know.
Is it just like a white wine, though?
No, because I had never... I think it's like a cocktail. Hang on. So, Lilibet Blanc, 2 lemon wedges, 4 strawberries, a few sprigs of thyme, crushed ice, and 4 ounces of Prosecco or champagne. It's really not that...
It's not that complicated, but...
Just the mixture...
Maybe what we're learning is like certain ingredients, and maybe I should just speak for myself. Like certain ingredients you can let shine, and there's like a certain combination that makes it.
And I also think like the second time I had it, where I was like, oh, I still have the stuff to make it. I put more strawberries in, so there was more of like a sweetness, but not like a sugary sweetness, because obviously it's just the actual strawberries, and it was even better that way.
Okay.
So I think it was like the fruit that was in it.
Which is part of like why I liked the Alice Says Don't Drink the Wine was.
Yeah.
And we said that on that episode was all of the fruit. Mm-hmm. So the oranges, the raspberries, the cherries, the mint, all of that mixed together
makes such a difference.
The drink.
Yes.
If it didn't have the fruit and the herbs in it, it would be shit.
Yeah.
It would like...
Or if you just got, like the fake, how am I trying to say this?
If you just drink white wine and cranberry juice.
Yeah. You know? It makes a difference.
It made a huge difference. And, I mean, some people might think that that's, like, really silly. And they're like, duh. Because we I don't know. That was not my world, right? Like,
yeah.
You know, I had a glass of wine or I had a beer, and that was the extent of what I understood. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel kind of silly, but I'm like, oh, like mint and fruit really did it for me.
Or thyme. Putting thyme into a drink. Who knew? That could make such a difference.
It was so good.
Yes, agreed.
So we actually don't need to crunch the numbers. No. It is a tie, and we both win.
Oh my god. Everyone's a winner. So exciting. Okay, cheers to being a winner.
Cheers.
Oh, that's a risky cheer.
No.
Ooh. I'm surprised that was so close.
I don't even care. Like I wanted to win, but okay, favorite moment. I need you to go first because
I will say I have like 4 written down.
Of course.
Obviously. But I'm just going to side mention a 1 because it's not really a moment. But Amarantha's one-liners.
Oh, I love that.
It's not a moment, but I just want to shout out to that.
Yeah.
Because that was like a consistent kind of thing. But I do have the favorite moment. But the Amarantha one-liners,
something that both of us realized in the reread, like, how good those were.
Number 1 villain role, just
right.
So I kind of went back and forth a lot with like other things, but I ended up picking the summer solstice.
Okay.
Because I felt like it was like a beautiful moment. It was really like a change with Farah. You see her falling in love. You see her kind of finally relaxing a little bit and having fun and really like embracing this fairy world. It was just, I think, in all the chaos of everything and everything that happened after and happened before, it was just like a beautiful, simple moment where it was just like this girl falling in love and being her. Mm-hmm. So that ended up being my favorite moment.
Well, that self-sacrifice that we talked about earlier, like the summer solstice was that moment where Tamlin told her, like, just
and it was just
go.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I'm not your keeper. I'm not your...
That was a set her on the trajectory of, oh, I'm this separate being. I am not a vehicle for other people's needs, that I have my own thoughts and I have my own wants and I have my own needs and I can release other people's stuff.
Lucian tells me not to drink the wine. I'm going to drink the wine.
Yeah.
I don't need someone watching over me. I can just dance and be free. And I just love, and I still love that part where he just said, dance, Farah. Like, and I'm just like, yes. So I just love that, like, dancing in a field moment, which is just my...
Well, isn't that what, like, all young people, and of course, like, me and you have been to many festivals together.
Yes, which that's what it reminds me of.
That is the whole point, right? Yeah. You go hear this music that, like, invokes something in you, and you could just, like, let your body loose and forget whatever it is that is going on in your life, and just... You just
don't care. You're just like, I'm just gonna dance and be free, and it's, just a really... Just makes me like that was just a very happy human moment for her. Yeah. To have, especially after her hard life, to have that type of moment and, like, newly falling in love. And
okay, I'll say I was critical of this moment when, especially the Will-O-Wisp moment.
Yes.
And I was listening back to, I went back and listened to parts with the dramatized version of the audiobook. I know, I feel like I'm getting the names wrong. The dramatic adaptation of the audiobook. But the place where they, like, kiss and they have this, like, moment.
Which I loved.
Yes.
And she says it's the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah. So it's not my favorite moment. I just want to acknowledge that moment that I have had, like, a change of heart after, like, listening to it and, like, seeing a bit of, like, a different perspective, that it was, like, it was a beautiful moment between them. Yeah. Now, I went between the worm.
Okay, I also had that.
Okay, so
which you also put up a poll and someone else
did
say that as well.
Yes, so thank you. Someone else had mentioned on our Instagram that was one of their favorite moments, was the worm. And I mean, if you listen to our episode about the worm, like, we are, like, bowing down to Farah, like, we are not worthy. Yes.
I did love that. Yeah, that was also on my list.
Epic.
And how we even talked about that would be a great, like, movie, like, part, just that part in general.
You have done what I could never do.
Like, her fast thinking, just, like, the envisioning the actual worm.
We call her Heidi.
Heidi Klum.
But I feel like I settled on this. Maybe it's obscure, but
I like that, though.
But it's the moment of Nesta's big reveal.
Oh.
I know, it's like,
wow, yeah,
it's really
totally
random.
Was not expecting that.
What did you expect?
Not that.
Okay, I feel like you were like, you knew what my favorite
No,
I
was. Didn't.
No?
But it's just, I think more when I'm, like, looking back at the book, I'm, like, thinking of different moments that, never even crossed my mind as, like, a big moment.
For me, just Nesta revealing that she had never been, like, she never accepted Tamlin's glamour. Mm-hmm. And you just think of, like, how much we know about Tamlin's power and, like, how he has glamored all of like, he glamored Farah from all of the Spring Court fairies so that she wasn't afraid. Like, he has used his glamour
a few times.
Yeah. I just think the fact that he used it and then she just rejected it. Like, she was so strong-willed. And I guess my favorite moment is not necessarily about Nesta. It's more just an insight into Farah's family and how we got, like, the introduction of this book is so strong. Mm-hmm.
With her family.
In the setting.
It's almost like you forget about that by the end of it, how much her family is in it throughout the whole book.
And just, like, that picture that she paints of poverty and her role in the family. And literally. And Nesta in that conversation just is, like, the starting point of, like, unveiling what is it about this family that makes them the way that they are, that it isn't just black and white, like, Feyre's dad is bad, Elaine is stupid, Nesta's a cold-hearted bitch, and Feyre is the good one. It gives us insight into, like, these people are more complicated. And maybe Festa... I combine Feyre and Nesta. Maybe Nesta has love. It's just her hurt and her harm. It's just expressed in a different way, and it's manifested in a different way. And I guess this moment just made me excited. Oh, my body part. But this moment made me excited to...
Continue.
I guess not just exploring Nesta, but just like it gave us a starting point of like these people are more than what meets the eye, and that we are going to see what more of Feyre's life and all of her family. Like, what does this mean? Who are these people? What more do they have to offer than just what they offer in poverty? Because think about it. Who are you at your lowest low?
That's
Who
true.
are you?
Yeah.
I am shit at my lowest low, right?
Yes.
Right? Like, Feyre ended up excelling at her lowest low, but, like, not all of us
Most
do
people,
that.
I don't feel like would.
So who are these people and what is to come of them? So I just felt like this was, like, a really good nugget.
Yeah, totally wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I also think it's, even thinking back to, like, the beginning of the book and, like, the basic knowledge we had of, like, the fairies and that the fairies and humans had of each other, which were just these basic concepts and fears, and then you end up finding out so much more, and that they're actually more alike than they think they are. Mm-hmm. I like that you brought it back to that.
All right.
Totally not expecting that, though, at all.
Okay. Cringe moment. I know you don't have one. This was just thrown in at the last minute because...
I can maybe, like, think of one. Yeah, I still...
You don't have to.
Yeah.
I was just looking, I was just listening to the dramatized version, the adaptation on the audiobook, and this moment happened, and I was like, ooh, like, I had a visceral reaction. Tamlin gets on one knee when he has the fiddle, and he plays for her, and she dances, and I, like, any sort of, like, sexual feeling in my body retracted into, like, a black hole.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know how else to describe it.
I get it when you really put it like that. And I think also, like, listening to the words being, I don't know, but I think in a movie you could make it look hot. Just gonna say. It's like, and I think of it like old school. Like, I'm thinking way back times, you know? I'm also super into Outlander, the show, so I think more in, like, that style.
And then I think of, like, modern times. If you give me a
No,
modern...
absolutely not. In modern times, no.
Exactly.
No. Yeah. Modern times, no.
Okay.
Like, if a man came at me with a guitar from a stage...
Right.
To sing directly to me...
And you'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Who was not, like... I can't think of anybody right now. Like, Noah Khan or... Yeah, I would be like, oh, okay. Like, if I'm just at a bar watching someone perform, I'm like, no, too much.
Back up.
Too much ick there, yeah.
I know.
Okay, get it. Okay, what's next?
Word I was going to say mispronunciation.
Okay, yeah, this is another thing you...
Mispronunciation. And I literally...
Can't even say it.
I can't even say it. Word mispronunciation. Okay, this is sad. This is sad that I can't even introduce the title, and this is what we're talking about. Okay, usually we want to start out weak and go with strong, but I need to do the strong one with you because I feel like I want to accuse you of being guilty of this, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Sarah J. Maas.
Oh, I say Moss a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Shit, I do. Moss.
No, I always say Sarah J. Maas, and I
Maas,
just like
right?
it's Maas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Which is super embarrassing.
I'm so sorry, Sarah J. Maas. I apologize, SJM.
Okay, the next one, the bogey.
Oh, right, you did.
Now, this is based on evidence, again, of the dramatized adaptation, but they say the bogue.
The bougie?
The bogue.
Oh, just the bogue.
The bogue.
Oh, okay.
Or the bog. Should I get it? Anyway, the point is we got it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Claire Better.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What?
We're like Claire Boudoir.
Boudoir. Claire Boudoir. I like Claire Boudoir better.
Maybe that's the French Canadian in us.
There we go. Cheers to Claire Boudoir.
We're not French, but okay.
We do know some French though. Just saying.
Cal and Mai. That we already know this. We've gone through it. Cal and Mai, Cal and May. This was my doing.
It's Cal and May.
Prithian.
Ugh.
It's Prithian.
Prithian.
It's
Yeah.
Prithian. I'm so sorry.
Oops.
But in my head, it's Prithian.
Prithian.
In my head, it's Prithian.
I know. In my head, it's Prithian.
Okay. Hugh Lowry is what I said in the episode. It's Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Hugh.
He told me he forgives you.
Charles Melton. When I listened back to the episode, I said Charles Milton.
You absolutely did.
Which...
And I didn't even catch on to.
I know his name.
Yeah.
But it's so funny having a podcast and listening to yourself back. You're like, what are you talking about?
What is wrong with you?
I know his name. And then the last one was Andres.
Oh, no. Is it wrong?
I had been calling him Andres.
Yeah.
But it's Andres.
Oh, wow.
I'm so sorry, Andres.
Again, I feel like it's that little French twist. Andres.
Andres.
Andres and Claire Boudoir. Together
and Claire Boudoir.
again.
Oh. Okay, that's it. That's
well,
it.
good to know. Good to know.
Okay.
Oh, how do I want to... It's casting. No. Ruined it. It's casting call. No.
I thought you were going to do like a cat, like the name of it, like Casting Hill, I Will Die On.
Oh, that's a long. Okay. The casting hill I will die on. Da-da-dum.
Okay. I like it.
Thank you.
Okay.
So...
You go first.
This is a really sad one.
Why?
For me. I need to just pull up my phone for one
Is
second.
it Heidi Klum?
Heidi Klum. Nobody fight me on this. So I'm just going to have 3 that I have to go over. You'll like the third one. You'll like the third one a lot.
Okay.
First one's sad. My absolute favorite casting I had was for Lucian, which was Chance Perdomo, and he recently passed away, which is very sad. But I really, really loved him for this. I loved his just like swagger. I thought he could play that Lucian role like so well.
Isn't it so funny that you can see someone's personality through a photo? Because I did not watch the show that you talked about.
Yeah.
And you showed me a picture of him, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
He looks nothing like the character described, but just his face, I was like, yeah.
He can totally pull that off, that whole like Lucian vibe. And I almost feel like the whole book, that was my one character where that's actually who I pictured the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely love that for him. R.I.P. It's really sad. That was just recently.
It's really, it's really strange when like, a celebrity
That you don't
die.
know.
You don't know them, but it's like, I don't know. There's some sort of connectedness with that where it's like that's a valid thing to grieve.
Yeah. Which I texted you right away when I saw it. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And I also did really love him in Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I felt like he was just like so perfect. He'll always be my Lucian forever and ever. My second one was the cereal, Tilda.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I just love that. And my third is your Resent.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna die on your hill for that.
Yes, die on my hill.
Yes, I absolutely. And I feel like the more I read it,
you see him.
yes. And then I also just wanted to point out a really random thing, which I totally forgot I kind of did. I used to kind of picture him as Remy Malek, and I don't know why.
No, I see that.
Right?
For sure.
When I first was
There's
reading
a vibe.
the book,
Yeah.
I really pictured him. And I've never been like super attracted to Remy Malek. And like some stuff, yeah. But I think it's more like also his vibe-ish, right? I think obviously yours is a way better choice for like all the different things, but I think Remy kind of has that vibe as well. But I remember when the first time I read it, I was like, why do I keep picturing him? And I couldn't understand it, because I'm like, you're not like fitting the description at all, and not someone I would usually picture. Yeah, so just wanted to give him a shout out just in case he needed one.
I know you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Okay, I only wrote down 2. My Nesta Olivia Rodrigo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was a second because I have heard other people with different casting for
Yes.
Nesta, and I think, okay. And so it's not a casting hill I will die on, because if I'm able to consider other people, then it's not so strong.
Yeah.
Even though it is an honorable mention, because I do feel super strong that Olivia Rodrigo would do this so much justice. Like, she would do this.
Yes.
And I know we're so biased too, because we have read the whole series. So we know what happens.
We know everybody's journeys and just everything that happens with everyone. So it's such a different...
So I'm like, I know she could do this, that she could be the Nesta role. Okay, aside from that, obviously Charles Melton. Okay, let's...
Yeah.
Da. This was an obvious one for me. My Rhysand is Charles Melton. And...
yeah, it's a great...
Rhysand is asshole. He is swagger. He is indifference, but also, like... I don't know. But
then it can also show the softer side type of thing. Like when he does have that moment with like
there's like
Farrah
emotional
in the
smarts,
cell.
and he is like he is the coach.
Right, exactly. It is such a good
and also the most beautiful man she's ever seen, which is what she said.
He is so beautiful. He's a great head of hair. Beautiful lips.
Right, where he can go back and forth between that person of like, whatever, but also like...
And I think I've also...
nobody gets me.
Seen him in, like, when you first said it, I'm like, I've seen him in, like, a romantic comedy, or, like, you've seen him in all these different roles, so it's like you can actually picture it, where some of the people we've picked you haven't been able to... really, I think that's just the winner of Casting Call. I would also like to say the winner. Okay. And honorable mention to Steve Buscemi.
Oh my god.
Just for showing up so much.
You know what? Steve Buscemi needs to get the honorable mention of number of castings.
Yes.
Right? Like, if anyone surpasses him in number of castings...
You should probably do a Steve Buscemi reel or meme or something.
Okay. And also a Steve Buscemi... honorable mention award, or we'll workshop that.
Oh, yes, good idea. Yeah. Or a t-shirt. Just
for the person that gets a repeat cast.
Oh.
It'll be the Steve Buscemi
Award.
The Steve Buscemi Award. But we know that will happen because we've already talked about multiple times within the SJ Mass universe. We have cast people in different roles that we didn't realize.
It's very true.
Where you pick someone and I pick someone and we put them in different roles. So, okay, it'll come up again.
Perfect.
Okay. Ultimate loser.
Loser. I had Amaranth and I crossed it out.
Okay, who's your replacement?
The ACOTAR.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
I'm sorry, Dave.
Dave, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. That's
I'm sorry, Dave.
Like, you just... Amarantha had, like, reasoning for her craziness and to do all these things.
Hey, you don't know his. You don't know his.
Really good point. But he still, like, listened and did everything.
But mine is Amarantha, so we just...
Okay, yeah. Amarantha, I had her, and then I ended up crossing her off and putting just the ACOTAR.
It's obvious, but it's obvious, and we can't get around it. Okay. The Medal of Honor.
Oh, yay. Nope. And that was going to come out differently. Like, just... I think me mentioning this through text was what started the whole award show. Mm-hmm. Andres, am I saying it right? I had said to you...
And Andrus.
Oh, fuck. Andrus. I had texted you, just said, Andrus, because I was just thinking about it. I'm like, Andrus deserves, like, an award or a medal. Or, well, I said something like that.
You said Andrus deserves a Medal of Honor, literally.
Yeah, because I was just, as I was reading and thinking about it, it's like, once we found out that he knew what he was going to do, and he looked at her, he didn't fight back, didn't do anything, just, I'm going to give myself up to save my world, pretty much. And everything, just him doing that, did save his world. It led to Farah going over there, just domino effect by him making that decision. So, bravo.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gone the other way for you. You didn't really know. But still, you chose to do that for your country? I don't know. Prithian.
No, but if you think about it, like, the self-sacrifice, like, Farah obviously did this huge sacrifice with Under the Mountain and all of these things, but the Sentinels, like Andrus, that goes so devalued.
Because there were so many more before him that did the same thing.
I don't know if we're going to be like, in the wider view, like how our society works, like some people's value matters over others, or depending on the PR or the, I don't know, like,
oh yeah, you could really get deep,
like, whose
into
life
it.
matters more, whose sacrifice matters more.
Yeah.
And does Andrus's sacrifice mean more than Farah's sacrifice, what she was willing to sacrifice? It just, like, I don't know, this was like a complicated one for me. And then I think of, like, all of these Sentinels that came before
him
Andrus,
that did the same thing,
and then I think of, like, Tamlin and the choice that he made. You know, Rhysand had, you know, talked about, like, trying to protect his court and how he was in Amarantha's bed and, like, how that wasn't a choice.
Yeah.
And then I think of, like, Tamlin.
The Blue Fairy.
And the Blue Fairy and how Amarantha was like, oh, if you're by my side, then all of this can go away. And then Tamlin chose not to.
Yes.
And instead, there was this curse, but he could have ended the curse if he had complied. And then, I don't know, like, it was...
There's so many, I just feel like that's just going down.
If he complied, would she have done anything anyway? Yeah. That's a question too, but it's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's not given the credit.
Andrus was also just not given.
Andrus.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's your Medal of Honor as well?
Duh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. The very last one is the MVP. Do we have a different one?
So I have two MVPs. So you want to say yours first?
My overall MVP for A Court of Thorns and Roses is...
Da, 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 da.
Farah.
What? No. No way.
It's so obvious.
Who would have thought?
But you can't give it to anyone else.
I know.
It's just like, oh, I want to be cool and be alternative and I'll give it to other... No. Farah did the thing.
Yeah. I had my alternative pick as second. Just want to throw it
Okay,
out there.
well, yeah, that's okay. Okay, these are my reasons, though.
I feel like I'll just agree with all of them.
You probably will.
Yeah.
She kept her family alive.
Reason number one. I don't feel like we need more.
Despite their mistreatment and lack of effort.
Yes.
She gave Tamlin and Lucian a chance. Mm-hmm. She took responsibility for her misbeliefs about fairies and Andrus's death.
My snapping. She
became herself slowly, but she went under the mountain, which was the ultimate self-sacrifice. She assumed she wouldn't come out of there.
Yeah, it was really a dumb idea. You're human, but she still did it.
She endured what no one should. And she just had honor and good character throughout this book.
Yes. And constant, her good character was, like, brought out and shown in different situations. She's just a very good person. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, that was constantly shown by little things, which we had mentioned throughout, just saying it's just like, okay, want to point out, like, yes, girl, good for you. I 100% agree with that. I can't argue with it. And she actually made it through the trials. And she figured out the riddle.
She finally
She
did
actually
it. We
figured it
never
out.
did.
No, but she figured it out, and yeah, she wins.
Who's your second?
Lucian. You know, I feel like he also came a long way. You know, it was kind of how why he was my MVP.
Lucian is always my second, and
Right, like in the beginning, he like also was not a human fan, and then in the end, it was like he was devastated when Farah died. Well, Tamlin was still didn't support humans as slaves and things like that. But I think Lucian, obviously, because Farah had killed his friend, so I get that. But just you know what, just Farah and Lucian's friendship winner.
Just Lucian is cuter.
He was cuter. Yes, that was my second. But obviously that's not the actual winner. But
okay,
just wanted to shout him out.
How do you feel at the end of this book?
So many things. I think there's still questions that were brought up at the end of it, which I'm excited about. I'm just excited.
Okay, see, when I first read this book, I finished it and was like, oh, okay. There's a second book? What are they?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do with this? I was just like, but
okay, I do agree with that. I remember I was like, how is there this many other books after this? I'm like, where is this gonna go?
And
that you could have this many books.
When I read books, I am a stoopy, which is a new term that you can use too. Stupid. I'm a stupid human girl, as Alice would say. And I am normally a smart person, but when I read books, I am just immersed.
Yes.
And I don't read between the lines. I don't I am not the person that's trying to figure out the plot and on the internet and they're what is all the theories? I don't care.
Yeah.
I am just vibing and just allowing myself to enjoy the book. I want to figure it out I don't
as
care.
It goes.
Yeah, I don't care to be ahead of the game. You know what I mean?
No.
So when I finished this book, I was just like, oh, that was wonderful. What could you possibly come up with next? And then I started reading it. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
You thought of other things.
There's other stuff because there's 4 more books.
Yeah, and there's all these other characters we've been introduced to that really.
There's other people.
Yeah, but it was after finishing this, I did think similar. Where I was like, how are we gonna do this many books after this? Just excited. Farah and Tamlin are back together, and Lucian, the throuple.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
they're back in the spring court.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Oh. Okay, we will see you for a court of Mist and Fury. Da da da. Bye.
Better. Bye.